The space above is where the eagle holds the advantage. From that height, it reads the direction of its target with precision. Each tilt of its wings tightens both distance and pressure. Other predators can also become targets when they enter its field of view. For the eagle, the strike is not just about strength, but control of the sky. Mountain goats are masters of sheer cliffs, where they command narrow paths at elevations exceeding 13,000 feet. With a body weight of around 140 pounds and split hooves that provide strong grip, they turn rugged terrain into a natural refuge. But that advantage is not absolute when the golden eagle appears. With a wingspan of over 7 feet, this predator turns altitude into its own advantage. The encounter begins when a solitary mountain goat moves along a narrow ledge. The eagle does not engage directly with its talons, but instead uses gravity from above. It folds its wings and dives at high speed, delivering a precise impact to the target. Losing its footing in an instant, the goat slips from the ledge and falls below. This outcome helps offset earlier unsuccessful attempts. Across cloud-covered mountain ranges, every step marks a fragile boundary. The golden eagle does not rely on overwhelming strength, but turns gravity into part of its hunting strategy. In nature, the advantage does not belong to the stronger, but to the one that knows how to use the environment. Within the layers of tropical rainforest, small monkeys are masters of movement across the canopy, navigating branches at heights exceeding 100 feet. With a body weight of around 15 pounds, they perform precise leaps and use their flexible tails for balance, turning dense foliage into a nearly perfect escape maze. That very environment becomes the greatest challenge for the harpy eagle. With a wingspan of over 6.5 feet and talons measuring about 5 inches, it cannot dive freely as it would in open space. Instead, this predator must weave through narrow gaps, adjusting speed and angle of approach in an instant. In a space filled with visual barriers, every approach becomes a calculated risk. If the monkey detects movement in time, it can vanish instantly among the layers of leaves. For that reason, the harpy eagle chooses to approach from blind spots, closing the distance before accelerating within a very short range. When the moment arrives, a precise grasp allows it to secure the target and leave the canopy within just a few wing beats. Within the green maze, precision allows it to overcome the very limitations created by its own size. Across the windswept grasslands and arid deserts of Central Asia, Corsac foxes and red foxes stand out as highly skilled survivors with strong camouflage and expert burrowing abilities. With a body weight of around 14 pounds, they rely on sharp hearing to detect prey hidden beneath the ground. But the open landscape also places them within the field of view of the golden eagle. When focused on foraging and exposing their position, even the smallest movements can draw attention from above. With vision estimated to be about 8 times sharper than that of humans, the golden eagle turns the sky into a clear advantage. Against a nimble target capable of rapid direction changes, it does not strike directly. Instead, it narrows its wings and dives from great height, reaching speeds close to 150 miles per hour to create sudden pressure. When the fox loses rhythm and slows for a brief moment, a precise approach allows the eagle to gain control of the target. On terrain without cover, distance offers little chance to be extended. Across the vast sea of grass, the steppe becomes both a stage for speed and a test of awareness. In nature, even a slight misstep can alter the outcome. In Africa, venomous snakes are silent hunters carrying some of nature's most potent chemical defenses. With limbless bodies and varying lengths, such as the black mamba, they possess fangs that deliver neurotoxins capable of quickly disabling a large animal. Facing them is the eagle, one of their most formidable natural rivals. Without needing superior size, this bird of prey relies on dense feathers and scale-covered legs as natural protection. Combined with fast reflexes, it can avoid counterstrikes and control distance in high-risk encounters. The confrontation is not limited to land, but extends to rocky coastal areas. Sea snakes carry powerful venom, yet their vision is more limited near the water's surface. From heights above 300 feet, a sea eagle observes and dives at high speed, using a precise approach to lift the target from the water before it can respond. Whether on land or offshore, the eagle's advantage does not come from raw strength. Its ability to observe, choose the right moment, and maintain a safe distance allows it to handle even the most dangerous prey. For some apex predators, fish can make up around 70% of the daily diet, especially among eagle species living near rivers, lakes, and coastal regions. Among them, the African fish eagle stands out as a clear example of water-based hunting strategy. When a target is detected just beneath the surface, the eagle begins to lower its altitude and adjust its angle of approach. Rather than diving straight down, it descends along a controlled, angled path to manage the point of contact. Just before reaching the water, its legs extend forward, with talons nearly 2 inches long spread wide, ready to secure the catch. The approach happens in a fraction of a second. The eagle lightly touches the surface, keeping most of its body above the water, and quickly lifts a protein-rich fish from below. A strong wing beat allows it to overcome resistance and regain altitude immediately after the capture. In many eagle species, this skill is passed down through learning, as juveniles observe and gradually refine their hunting ability over time. High-altitude airspace is where the golden eagle faces ground-based predators, where the advantage can shift in an instant. When a young gray wolf becomes separated from its pack, the golden eagle quickly locks onto the target. From above, it dives at speeds of around 150 miles per hour. The approach channels momentum into its talons, creating a clear advantage in the opening moments. The encounter ends quickly, as the element of surprise allows the eagle to take control of the situation. In contrast, with an adult coyote weighing around 30 pounds, the outcome becomes different. This prairie predator maintains distance and reacts quickly to threats from above. When the eagle moves in, the coyote immediately turns and responds with strong resistance, forcing the bird of prey to rise back into the air to avoid risk. The advantage of surprise is no longer sustained. Across the open plains, there is no absolute ruler. Only those that understand their limits and choose the right moment can endure over time. Across the dry grasslands and low scrub of Australia, the wedge-tailed eagle occasionally tests itself against a rival far larger than its own size, the kangaroo. An adult can weigh dozens of pounds, equipped with powerful hind legs and a backward kick reflex strong enough to maintain distance from threats above. With a wingspan that can exceed 7 feet, the eagle does not engage in direct confrontation. It holds altitude, observes, and waits for the moment when a smaller or exposed individual appears in open ground. When the opportunity emerges, the descent is executed with speed, like a brief test of limits between two species. But the kangaroo is not easily overcome. If it turns in time and holds its ground, its powerful kicks are enough to force the eagle to rise back into the air. The encounter rarely lasts long. Across wind-swept grasslands, survival is not a choice. but an endless race. For rabbits, every yard of ground carries hidden danger from above. Their only defenses are constant awareness and a finely tuned reflex system built for escape. When the shadow of a predator falls, the chase begins instantly. The rabbit bursts into motion, reaching speeds of up to 45 miles per hour. It does not run in a straight line, but shifts direction in sharp zigzag patterns to disrupt the approach. Yet the eagle is not easily misled, maintaining a precise descent path from above. The encounter ends in a brief moment as powerful wings bring full control over the ground. That intensity is part of the mechanism that keeps the ecosystem in balance, where every species must adapt in order to endure. From the edge of the grassland, the wild dog pack quietly forms a living circle. The harder the prey tries to break away, the more they take turns closing in, slowly draining its strength. If another predator arrives, their formation becomes even tighter. Few animals are as intimidating as a group that moves with a single shared purpose. So what happens when the entire wild dog pack has already learned the rhythm of its target's run? Leopards are master climbers among Africa's big cats. Weighing around 130 pounds, they are still agile enough to drag prey more than 20 feet into a tree to avoid other predators. For this solitary cat, a tree is not only a refuge, but also a safe storage place in the highly competitive savannah. The encounter begins after a silent hunt. The leopard has just pulled its prey onto a low branch when the scent of food spreads with the wind. Downwind, the wild dog pack quickly picks up the signal from several hundred yards away. They cannot climb as well as a leopard, but they have speed, numbers, and relentless pressure. Before long, chaos rises around the base of the tree. Sharp calls cut through the air, forcing the leopard to hold its position above. On the ground, the pack takes over the leftover meal, while the solitary predator can only watch with regret. But the leopard does not give up easily. At another time, when food is scarce, it may quietly return, moving along the shadows of the grass to look for another chance at the meal it lost. If it gets too close, the entire pack immediately turns, surrounds it, and forces it back up the tree. Nature does not reward the most reckless hunter. It favors those that can read the situation, stay clear of danger, and wait for the right chance to return. Crocodiles are known as masters of ambush along Africa's water edges. Weighing more than 1,000 pounds, their jaws can deliver a bite force of over 2,000 pounds per square inch. Once prey steps too close to the riverbank, a safe zone can instantly become a line of survival. Even other predators and large prey animals must stay cautious when approaching the water. Wild dogs and crocodiles rarely face each other directly. One species controls the grassland through speed and pack discipline. The other rules the water through patience and ambush. But after a long hunt, when exhaustion and thirst set in, the wild dog pack is forced to move close to this dangerous boundary. A mistake happens in an instant. One weaker individual bends down too quickly to drink. Even a small ripple across the surface can trigger the crocodile's ambush instinct. The crocodile surges forward and pulls the target away from safety. Immediately, the entire wild dog pack reacts. They rush in, hold their rhythm, pull back, and refuse to abandon their packmate. After several tense seconds, the crocodile is forced to give up the opportunity. But the lesson remains. Crocodiles can also take advantage when wild dogs drive prey too close to the water to claim the reward. At that boundary, the courage of the wild dogs is tested, and every mistake forces them to survive with greater caution. On the cracked, dry ground of the savannah, an old burrow can mark the line between danger and survival. For the African warthog, it is a familiar refuge whenever pursuit begins. Its low, sturdy body, weighing around 200 pounds, helps it move through the grass faster than its rough appearance suggests. Its curved tusks, about 10 inches long, make any predator think carefully before closing in. But wild dogs do not choose a direct confrontation. When they spot the target moving away from the burrow, the entire pack quickly spreads out. One group pressures the front, while another keeps pace from behind, forcing the warthog away from its safe route. They do not need one decisive charge. The real danger lies in the relentless rhythm of the hunt, leaving the prey little time to recover. When the warthog turns back to resist, the circle immediately opens. When it runs again, the pack tightens once more, taking turns maintaining speed over a long distance. Each change of direction drains more energy and carries the prey farther from shelter. On the savannah, wild dogs prove themselves to be master strategists. The wildebeest is one of Africa's most iconic hoofed animals. Each year, massive herds travel more than 1,000 miles in search of fresh grass and new water sources. A powerful frame, raised shoulders, curved hook-like horns, and heavy kicks make them difficult targets to approach. Even lions and leopards sometimes hesitate when faced with such sudden defensive reactions. But African wild dogs do not rely on individual strength. The pack can cover miles across the grasslands, maintaining a relentless pace as it closes in on grazing wildebeest. Rather than charging directly into the center, they spread out along both sides, applying pressure to the edges of the herd and gradually disrupting its movement. In the confusion, a weaker or slower individual can become separated from the safety of the group. Once the target is isolated, the wild dogs take turns in the pursuit. One moves ahead to force a change in direction, while another maintains pressure from behind. No single moment decides the outcome. With deep chests, large lungs, and legs built for endurance, they turn stamina into a silent advantage. The wildebeest is powerful, but isolation makes every sharp turn more exhausting. For wild dogs, success comes through discipline, endurance, and perfect coordination. Lions are considered the rulers of the savannah, not only because of their strength, but also because of their ability to control vast territory. A pride often protects an area of nearly 100 square miles, where prey, shade, and water sources are concentrated. An adult male outweighs a wild dog by a wide margin and can create pressure through presence alone. For African wild dogs, this is dangerous ground. They are smaller, but capable of running close to 44 miles per hour, and are known for their speed and pack discipline. The encounter begins when the wild dog pack becomes focused on chasing prey and accidentally crosses into lion territory. Once the intruders are detected, lionesses and male lions surge forward in short bursts of speed, forcing the pack to scatter. At first, the advantage belongs to the more powerful predator. But if one lioness becomes separated from the pride, the wild dogs immediately regroup and begin applying pressure in return. During the hot season on the savannah, even a small watering hole can determine survival. When the wild dog pack controls a drinking spot, even lions must approach carefully. If they move too close, the dogs quickly close in together to defend their distance. On the savannah, strength may dominate a single moment, but collective discipline is what allows survival through many harsh seasons. Across Africa's grasslands and bands of bushland, impalas, bushbucks, and waterbucks live within a harsh cycle of predation. They are fast, alert, and often make predators lose momentum after a sudden burst of speed. But for African wild dogs, these medium-sized antelopes are suitable targets, rich enough in energy to support the pack, yet less risky than larger hoofed animals. When several impalas are spotted at the edge of the herd, the hunt begins. The more experienced wild dogs widen the formation, moving under the lead of the dominant pair. They do not depend on one lucky charge. Instead, they turn the grassland into a test of endurance and discipline. Under pressure, an impala can accelerate to around 55 miles per hour to escape. The wild dogs do not rush to spend all their strength at once. They hold a pace of about 35 miles per hour over long distances, taking turns at the front and forcing the target to change direction again and again. If the impala heads toward a slope or shallow water to break the rhythm of the chase, the pack still splits its path, limits the exits, and keeps pressure from several sides. Unlike the compact impala, a waterbuck can weigh around 550 pounds and often rushes into deep rivers or lakes to hold its ground. At that moment, the wild dogs cannot close in instantly. They must spread out along the bank and wait for the prey to lose confidence near risky water, where hippos or crocodiles can turn the shoreline into a dangerous trap. Isn't that exactly how wild dogs build their reputation? A few seconds of speed can create a chance to survive, but the discipline of the entire pack decides the final rhythm of the pursuit. When the eagle leaves that stretch of sky, the pursuit leaves behind a new order. It shows that silence above can be more unsettling than movement ahead. The target loses its sense of safety, while rivals lose their complacency. In the wild, the greatest advantage often belongs to the one who waits for the right moment. Like and subscribe to continue following these compelling survival stories.